makingascene.org brings you a deep review of SongProof and why it might be showing up right when indie artists need it most. All right, so let's jump right in. We're going to be talking about a new tool that's aimed at this really critical, but honestly often overlooked moment in the life of every single song. You know that feeling, right? That initial glow, right after the creative lightning has finally struck. The demo is just good enough to share, and you are absolutely buzzing with excitement to get it out into the world. So you export that MP3, you drop it in an email, maybe text it to a collaborator, and just before you hit send, for just a split second, there it is. That feeling. A tiny little knot of anxiety right in your stomach. It's a feeling every single creator knows intimately, right? That wild mix of pride and vulnerability. And look, that anxiety, it isn't really about distrusting your friends or anything. It's about the reality of the world we're in now. Things move so fast, credits get fuzzy, and timelines, well, they can blur into a vague memory of a late-night session. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about that post-creation anxiety and the indie artist's dilemma. Then we'll introduce this whole idea of a receipt for your song. We're going to get super clear on what this new tool is and what it isn't. And finally, we'll tie it all together and see how this connects to actually building your indie career. All right, Section 1, the indie artist's dilemma, or as we're calling it, with great power comes great paperwork. Because really, what's the core problem here? It's pretty simple. The game has completely changed for independent artists. And with all that new power, well, it comes with a whole new set of responsibilities. Yeah, check this out. This really frames the shift perfectly. In the old industry, you had all these gatekeepers, right? Labels, publishers. They handled all the boring stuff. You know, the contracts, the registration, all that paperwork. But today, in the new industry, the artist has all the power, which is awesome. But it also means you're the CEO, the creator, and the administrator. There's no built-in admin department to handle your business for you. And this right here, this quote just hits the nail on the head. You're trying to catch lightning, not draft a contract. I mean, think about it. When you're in that creative zone, the absolute last thing you want to do is hit the brakes to fill out a bunch of legal forms. You're trying to catch lightning in a bottle. And that creates this really dangerous gap between the moment a song is born and the moment it's actually protected. So that leads to the big question. How do you close that gap? Well, this brings us to Section 2, a receipt for your song. This is where a new tool called SongProof enters the picture. It's designed specifically for those messy, emotionally charged, very first moments of a song's life. So what is it really? The easiest way to think about it is like a digital notary, or even simpler, just a receipt for your creative work. It's a tool that's designed to give you a super clear, verifiable record that basically says, hey, I made this with these people on this exact date, and the whole process is designed to be dead simple, so it doesn't kill your creative vibe. Step 1, you upload your file. That could be an MP3, a lyric sheet, heck, even a folder of stems. Step 2, you enter the key details, like who was in the room with you, and step 3, boom, you get a permanent, timestamped record of your creation. That's it. Okay, so how does it do this? Now, it uses blockchain technology, specifically the Bitcoin and Polygon networks. But wait. You absolutely do not need to be a crypto expert. Forget all that. The whole point here is just to use the permanence of the blockchain to create a record that's durable and can't be changed. It's using the boring but super useful part of the tech just for evidence, not for speculation. Okay, which brings us to a really, really important point. Section 3, what it is and isn't. To get the value here, we have to be crystal clear about what this thing does, and maybe more importantly, what it doesn't do. And this is probably the #1 question you're thinking right now, right? Is this the same as a formal copyright? I mean, you see a tool that offers proof, and your brain immediately jumps to legal copyright. So, are they the same thing? The answer is a very clear no, and this chart breaks it down perfectly. Think of it this way. SongProof is your first receipt. It creates that time-stamped evidence, that documentation. It's a proof layer, a formal registration with the US Copyright Office. That's the legal hammer. It's what you absolutely have to have if you ever need to enforce your rights in a US court. They're just different tools for different jobs. Now, it's worth noting, SongProof does have an add-on service to help you file that formal registration, but that's a whole separate, heavier step. Now look, a protection tool is only good if you actually use it. And the pricing here seems designed to make it a habit. It's not a monthly subscription you have to worry about. You just buy credits as you need them. It's a super low barrier to entry, which makes it way more likely you'll actually use it right in the moment when it matters. And to get you started, your first one is totally free. It's a completely no-risk way to just try it out and see how it fits into your workflow. And this is also a huge deal. It's built for the moment. It's on desktop, sure, but it's also got apps for both Google and Apple. The whole idea is you can create that proof right there on your phone, like the second a session ends, before any of the details start to get hazy. All right, so let's zoom out and talk about the big picture. Section 4, building your indie career. How does a simple little habit like this actually impact your career in the long run? This, to me, is such a critical insight. Most disputes are not about some evil person trying to steal your song. They're just about confusion. The real value here, so often, isn't about protecting yourself from some villain. It's about protecting your collaborations from simple human error. You know how it is. Memories fade, sessions all blur together. A casual idea someone threw out can totally morph into a major contribution in their mind over time. This tool is basically a time machine. It helps you turn that, I think I wrote that, into, nope, here's the file we created on that day with exactly these people in the room. And when you have that kind of clarity, it becomes a massive professional asset. It literally unlocks everything else. Your collaborations feel safer, your releases don't get held up by some last-minute argument over splits, and when that big opportunity for a sync license comes along, you're not scrambling around trying to figure things out. You have a clean, verifiable catalog ready to go. You're actually building the solid foundation of your entire publishing business, one little receipt at a time. And this really brings us to the core message from makingascene.org. They say, ownership isn't a philosophy, it's paperwork and proof. In today's music industry, the real currency for indie artists isn't just talent, it's having verifiable proof. True ownership isn't just some nice idea, it's the clear, undeniable documentation that backs up all your creative work. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Section 5, the bottom line. What's the main takeaway from all this? It's this. SongProof is a lightweight, really habit-friendly proof system for that exact moment your music enters the world. It's simple, it's accessible, and it's designed for a very specific but super crucial need that every single indie artist faces. Look, it's not a replacement for the big legal tools, but it's a vital first step that fits right into the modern creative process. It's meant to be used every time, right in the moment your music is born. And so that leaves us with one final question to think about. Your song has a hook, right? But does it have a receipt? You pour everything you have into crafting that perfect melody, that perfect lyric, that hook. But did you take that one extra step to get the receipt for it? Make sure you check out the other great articles and resources on makingascene.org, the place the indie artist goes to build the new music industry.